Hello, good morning, muy buenos dias, continuous liners. This is Meagan Burns coming to you live from the streets of San Miguel de Allende on this Sunday morning. It is December 1st. Can you believe it? It is December 1st already. And I just got my beautiful latte delivered to me. Yum. Yeah, I'm here in downtown San Miguel. It's a beautiful little hotel. It's got like just a slice of a courtyard where it's a cafe and trees and the whole deal. And it's very pretty, right? Here, wait, let me show you around. So lots of hanging plants. Isn't that pretty? And then this is a little hotel. They have 13 rooms. Honestly, I should check it out and see how it would be for a workshop. And then a big staircase right here. And yeah, I'm out doing my Sunday morning, not Monday morning. It's not Monday yet, is it? No, it's Sunday. So I'm out doing my errands, getting my sketchbooks made, and walking with my dog. And I thought, what the heck, let's stop and do, oh my gosh, I just got totally warm, so let me get this thing off me. When it hits, right? God, I'm like choking myself now. Okay, here we go. All right, yeah, so I am out on the streets with my dog doing some errands, and I decided to stop and get a coffee and do some continuous line warm-ups. You know why? Because I feel better when I do continuous line warm-ups. I know I harp on this stuff all the time, and people just, I think most people just go, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, this is super powerful medicine. It's so simple, yet so powerful. And that's sometimes how powerful medicine works, is like, you think how can this possibly do anything when it doesn't feel like anything? Well, I'm here to tell you it is something. And it makes a difference. It makes a difference. It not only has calming properties, the whole idea of continuous line drawing is it has a calming effect, right? And I'm really kind of going deep on this because I just feel like I'm really doing my best to stay off the news, and I got Twitter off my phone, and I've not heard that idiot's voice since the election, and I'm just like avoiding all news. But, even if you do that, you can't get away from the news of what's happening, right? So I'm doing my best to prepare not only myself, but my business for the new year because, I do workshops in Mexico, and I live in Mexico, in case you didn't know that. But I feel just with all the, the threat of what's coming in January, not only him, but the things he wants to be doing, it has created some tension here in Mexico because there's this whole idea of tit for tat, right? Like if he starts deporting millions of Mexicans like he's claiming to do, there's this whole disinformation campaign that Claudia, the Presidente of Mexico, Presidente Sheinbaum, is going to retaliate by deporting foreigners that are here. And even though that disinformation has been debunked, there's still stress around it, right? There's still concern because nobody really knows what's going to happen, right? I mean, the whole thing, like he just is so hell-bent on destroying everything. And the people voted him in to do that. So good luck with all that. So my workshops in Mexico have come to a screeching halt. And so I have to pivot, right? Like so many of us have to pivot, right? Well, what am I going to pivot into? I don't know, my God. You mean you mean to tell me I have to choose a whole nother career path at this stage of the game? I guess so. Now, it's not like I'm going to reinvent the wheel because I've done things like where I've gone from a marketing office job in Chicago to working on a ranch a cattle ranch, right, making grass-fed beef. I don't think it's going to be that drastic of a pivot, although I'm open to anything. But I absolutely think that I, like so many others, are at that stage where you got to pivot, right? You got to pivot to stay flexible, pivot to stay current, pivot to stay in the game, right? Like, even as far as technology, I know a lot of people that are just like, yeah, I don't even want to know, right? I don't know about the AI, and I don't want to know about that, and I don't even care. I get that from the sense of, like, you reach a certain stage in your life, and you're just like, I don't care about all that drama and technology and whatever. And, I'm certainly not encouraging, nor am I wanting to start dancing on TikTok. That is not anything I will ever do. I have drawn on TikTok, but I'm not ever going to be dancing or any of that kind, or doing makeup tutorials. But what am I going to do to shift, to pivot in this new era that we're looking at, right? You can deny that it's a new era, but absolutely it's going to be a new era of technology, a new era of disinformation, a new era of, like, doing business, security, all that kind of stuff, right? Because everything that this guy is doing is, like, making things unstable, right? His whole gist is he wants to be the great disruptor, right? And make things great again. And so by doing this is like he's already creating lots of instability, right? Like, people are nervous. They don't want to travel to Mexico. It's funny because, like, Paris, Europe doesn't really get that, right? Paris could be burning and crawling with bedbug infestations, and people will go there and be like, isn't this charming? Right? But Mexico has a whole different rap in that, like, something happens at the border and everyone cancels, right? And so, and I'm not scoffing at this news of what, he plans on doing. And I'm really glad that Presidente Scheinbaum has clamped back at Trump's disinformation, right? And she's very clear in that you have much responsibility in this problem. You and your country, right? It's not just Mexico being willy-nilly irresponsible. The United States of America has a lot of accountability in this situation, right? I mean, it's complicated, and I'm not even pretending to know any. Drugs and weapons and narcos and money and fentanyl and labor. I mean, it's complicated, right? And so for this very simple-minded guy to come in and say, oh yeah, we're just going to deport everyone, and then he's got a team of people around him who are willing to be his henchmen, well, it is creating a lot of instability. So what am I going to do in the new era? I don't know. And will I have an art workshop business? Maybe, maybe not, right? Maybe. I'll probably always be doing something with art, but given the fact that there is economic uncertainty and economic instability and foreign instability, travel, all that. I mean, people are still going to go to Europe, right? But they are not coming to Mexico. People are moving here, right? That's a different ballgame. People are moving here if they can. And what I was reading, it is the weekend, I was reading that how much they have increased the monthly income that you must prove in order to move to Mexico, where it used to be like, I mean, 10 years ago, it was like you had to prove $700 or something like that per month, right? $500 per month in order to get temporal residency. Don't quote me on that, but it was something really, lowball like that. And now I think I heard the last one is you have to prove $17,000 a month. $17,000 per month income outside of Mexico. You have to prove that through financial records and payroll statement not statements, stubs, right? You have to prove that. And I think again, I'm not an expert on any of this stuff, and I've never owned a home in Mexico, but I don't even know if owning, like buying a home in Mexico, because that's how people used to get residency. They would, if they could, they would buy something. I'm not even sure if that is easy enough to do. I mean, I think we can all agree that immigration around the world is like the screws are being tightened because, first of all, the Americans think they can go anywhere, and the Americans have gone everywhere. Not just the Americans, but the whole issue of immigration is certainly not, Hispanics going to the United States. It's, Americans going to Portugal and destroying the local community. I'm not blaming Americans, but it's not just like one side that's doing the immigrating. Americans, even me, like going into Mexico City, which I miss terribly, right? There's that whole gentrification of foreign cities by foreigners, right? And they bring their digital lifestyles or digital nomading, and they demand the best coffees and the cutest cafes. I am part of the problem. I will admit it. Pardon me while I drink my beautiful latte in my beautiful cafe. Again, so I want to be clear that I realize I'm part of the problem. It's a complicated issue, right? We're all trying to find the best way to stay afloat, right? I mean, I left Chicago because I couldn't afford to be an artist and live in Chicago. I mean, I would have had to and I've had plenty of stupid corporate jobs, and I would have had to continue with that, right? Stupid corporate jobs, right? Working for the man and bad fluorescent lighting and stupid cubicles, working on Excel every day. I did that. Great training, right? Because now I can do Excel. Well, now I use Google spreadsheets. But anyways, I left Chicago because I couldn't afford to be an artist there, right? And I had married here, and I had a community. It's not like I just fled because I couldn't afford it. I actually had been coming to San Miguel since 1999. That was my first time here. And I moved here in 2000. I moved here right before September 11th. I was here for 9/11. And that was freaky because the communication was very different back then, and literally everyone ran down to the American post office because we couldn't get any news about it. And I remember I was one of the people running down the hill because someone had yelled out a window, New York has been bombed, it's on fire, right? And everyone was like, what? Did we have iPhones back then? No, we didn't, right? And so I think we all had AOL, right? And so everyone ran down the hill to the American post office to look at the little TV, right? It was a whole different world back then. So yeah, I've been coming back and forth here to San Miguel since 1999. 2001 was the first time I moved here. And I'm not trying to say that like, oh, well, then I'm not part of the problem. Yeah, I'm probably part of the problem. But I'm also trying to be part of the solution by figuring out a way to be of service and to be useful in this new era, right? I mean, what does that mean? I don't know. Do people need to draw? I think so. Do people need to have a resource for the kind of drawing that I do? I think so. I think it's super important. I think what I do, believe me, I've struggled with this kind of stuff for a large part of my life because my mother was an amazing artist, but she was always like, you don't do your art till everyone is taken care of, right? You don't do your art until your chores are done. My mom she was a master quilter. And, 8 o'clock at night is when she would sit down to do her sewing, amazing sewing, and she'd be falling asleep because she was exhausted. She took care of everyone and everything. And then when she, attended to her art, which she did do quite masterfully, she was exhausted, right? So I still have in the back of my head like, oh, isn't that nice that you have time to draw pretty pictures? Isn't that sweet that you have time to draw all these pictures? Isn't that lovely that you have time to make art like you do? Well, look at you living in Mexico, being an artist, like you got no cares in the world, right? Like I can absolutely hear my mother's voice. at all times of the day and night, right? Well, maybe not all times. And I don't feel like she's harboring on me like I used to project that she did. She lived a very hard life, and that was what she passed on to us, right? And because that's all she knew. I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying that was a product of that generation for sure. And I feel like my generation, we're like the first generation that we grew up without cell phones, and then as adults we have these smartphones, right? So good news, bad news. We didn't have smartphones. Good news, bad news. We have smartphones, right? Because they've changed the game drastically, and they've changed the game drastically, right? So, I don't have children. I have a dog. I don't have a mortgage. I have rent. I don't have a car payment. I have a scooter and 2 legs. I don't have a lot of the cumbersomeness, I'm sure there's a better word for that, that a lot of people have at this stage of the game, right? I've always lived pretty light, especially when I first started really losing my mind in my late 20s. I kind of have been on this cycle where every couple of 10 years I literally completely lose my mind, and I lose all my belongings in the process, right? So it's made for a very roller coaster of a life, because there's times I'm married and I'm in Texas and I have a house and staff and cows and houses and then I'm like almost homeless, and I'm hungry, and I got no one, and then I've had these big drastic changes in my life, and in my younger years it used to just terrify me, because I was thinking I was not going to make it, and I was thinking that this is it, this is the end. But over time, I pretty much kind of roll with it. So the idea of losing everything isn't scary to me, because I've done it, and it's actually kind of a nice feeling to lose everything, not to lose people and things and stuff, because there's sometimes I go, oh yeah, what happened to my mother's ring? Oh yeah, I lost it when I lost my mind 8 years ago or whatever. I'm not making fun of mental illness, because it's certainly been a part of my path, and but sometimes I laugh at my response to it, right? So there are certainly a number of things that I have lost throughout the course of my life that sometimes I wince over, but generally speaking, I don't. I like living light, right? Now, that's no guarantee that things are good and are going to work out. And so here I am, staring down the barrel of 2025, when the United States of America elected a dictator wannabe, right, who wants to employ all these fascist tactics, which, isn't that amazing that America would stoop to that? I mean, I guess there's a lot to remain to be seen, right? Because what is that exactly going to look like? Who knows? Right? A little scary. I don't know. I sometimes think, well, maybe it is time for me to go back to the United States. I wouldn't mind being in the belly of the beast, but at the same time, would I be able to feed myself in that country? I mean, looking at it right now, I don't think I would be able to. And I have such good food here in Mexico, right? I work for the Cañada, so I get all this delicious organic meat in my freezer, and organic veggies. Like San Miguel is the it place for organics and clean food in the whole country. I mean, I think a lot of people think Tulum is the health nut spot. Not really, because they have really bad water there, and they have lots of environmental issues with really bad infrastructure. I mean, generally speaking, the infrastructure is kind of weathered in Mexico, but here in San Miguel, I would say it's probably, like even Mexico City, like even if you try to be healthy there, the air is super bad, and the water, there's just like bugs in the water, right? And so even if you clean it and purify, you're going to get those bugs. I think I have bugs in my tummy right now. I do. So I have to go through this whole detox thing, which is what I'm in the process of doing. Anyway, so there we go. So here it is, December 1st, and I'm going to wrap this up here a little bit. Oh, in case you didn't know, my little girl, come here. My little girl is here with me. Oh, I think she's trapped on something. What are you stuck on? Come here. Oh, I get to come say hello to everyone. Yes, she's feeling better after her traumatic chair incident yesterday. Are you trapped on something? She was attached to a chair and she ran away and the chair chased her, and so now she's a little afraid of chairs. But, oh, look how cute we look. We look like twins, don't we? But there she is in her cute little sweater, and we're out, and I'm in my cute little sweater. Don't put your feet on the table because people won't like that. You are still a dog, as you know, even though I may disagree with that. So here's my little girl. And we're out taking a morning walk. I'm getting my sketchbooks made for the next month for going to San Francisco. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and just try to find my way through this. And I feel like the way to do this is, first of all, have someone that you can distract yourself from the news of the day. She's a great distraction for me because it's just nice to take care of someone else and feed someone and walk someone, and I totally miss that because I'm sure you all heard me cry about that plenty, about how much I missed having a dog. Hang on now. So I have someone to take care of now. Let me set her right here. No, you can't put your feet on the table. And you have to have a practice that will help you de-stress, right? Taking a nap when you're tired is good, but also I'm here to say the drawing is a wonderful way to work through it. I mean, really leaning into it. I know people have heard me say this and are tired of I don't think a lot of people get how powerful continuous line practice is, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, you don't get it, right? Oh man, no, but I'm just really going to harp on this. This is a way to really let your mind go and not fret about things. I mean, we can always fret about things, but anyways, so in 2025, I'm just going to lean into my continuous line. She sees herself. Do you see? She sees her. Do you see yourself in there? She has a real thing with mirrors and reflections. Everywhere we go, she sees herself in a reflection, and then she sees me in the reflection, and she's like, wow, there's two of you. Okay, I'm going to sit her down because she really wants to get on the table, and I don't want her to get on the table, so I'm going to pick her up when, yeah, there we go. So, yeah, let's, I don't know what I'm going to do in 2025. I'm sure a lot of you know exactly what you're going to do in 2025. Maybe it's the same thing you've always been doing. But me, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to find something else because that's just how it goes, right? So I'm going to finish big with a heart, and I'm going to remember to go easy on myself and easy on others because these are, and they have been for a few years now. These are strange times. I mean, life was weird before COVID, but yeah, things really got weird, have been weird since the COVID era. We're still in the COVID era, right? And it's just getting weirder and weirder. So I'm going to just remember, being back here in San Miguel, it's a city that I left for a few years during the pandemic when everything was shut down, and so I've come back here now, and it feels like a very different city. I feel like I don't even know it anymore, and there's a lot of people I don't know. I mean, that's fine. There's a lot of, it's not like I need to know everyone, and then the people that I do know, I don't know them anymore, right? They're like strangers. So anyways, and then to be doing this whole gallery being in a gallery, I don't know. My God. I hope this is not, I mean, I'm not trying to be ungrateful, but I hope that I can find a way through this that resonates with my heart and with my soul. And maybe that does, but I just am not used to it because I've never been about here by my heart. Here, buy my art. Would you like to buy my art? I've never, ever, ever been like that. And to be like that now, not that I'm pushing my art in anyone's face, but I'm just like, ugh, I don't really, this is not really my thing. I mean, I would rather draw with you than have you buy my art. Like, come draw with me and not that, I mean, you'll buy my art because I have to pay rent. I'm going to go easy on myself and easy on others. I'm going to hang out with my dog and draw. You want to come draw with me? You don't have to buy my art, but you can come draw with me, right? Finish big with a heart. Go easy on yourself. Go easy on others. And prepare. Do what you need to do to prepare for 2025 because it is going to be a different year. I am learning about all the new technology and AI tools, not only for myself, but for my business, right? Because you can stick your head in the sand and maybe you have enough money where you don't have to worry about it. But even that, there's no guarantee because everything could be different next year. So stay alert and stay educated, or just put your head in the sand if that's what you want to do too, okay? All right, everyone, have a great Sunday. Oh, it's December 1st. That means it's our new holiday challenge. Well, not the holiday challenge. It's a continuous line drawing challenge, and for December, it is the holidays. Continuous line holidays. So that can be draw a poinsettia, draw a Christmas tree, draw a Hanukkah. What are those called? The candles. I'm forgetting the name. Draw a plate of Christmas cookies. Draw, a bowl of punch. Draw a fireplace. Whatever. It's whatever the month of December reveals to you. And it's, of course, not any religious specific. It's just holidays. All right. Have a great day. Enjoy your Sunday. I'll see you all next time. Go easy on yourself. Bye.